Hey, onegaishimasu. Okay. Let's see. David, do you want to take the class? You just want to include everybody in the class to get more people showing. It's up to you. Well, why don't you start over there? You've got somebody. So everybody else, let's form a line here. Okay. Okay, come on in. Over there. Let's see. One of the things that we're kind of mentioning over here, okay? There's a lot of information, but what we're kind of trying to do is called the blip. You know, you go to, what is it? Infinity Wars. What happens is that just says, okay, half of the population of the universe goes kaput. But guess what? It comes back, doesn't it? So they call it the blip. See, all these people, my friends, disappeared, but they're back now. Right? So kind of right here, that was a blip in that motion. Now, the hips. Now, this body's leaning. I'm going to go into it this one. But part of that blip is the cross step. I can kind of do it that way with a counter. So, boom, boom. Okay? For a lot of Aikido is that blip. It comes to hit me on the head. I'm too late there, but if I hit the blip, there's a blip right there. Boom. All right? So a lot of Aikido is difficult to explain because the blip is a connection that you establish, and I'm not quite that good, but essentially stuff is no time, no space, okay? So what I'd like us to do, this is firm, this is matter, but there's energy here. And you can go from the matter to the energy pretty quick. All right? All right? So let's just work a little bit on that as a warm-up. Okay, it's a Morote Dori. We could do it just with Katate, but we start out with Morote, so let's stick with it, okay? All right? Yeah, yeah, occasionally. Don't go too far away, okay? In other words, if you make this step much, okay? So what I'm doing right there, let's just say you're coming with that hand right here, okay? Well, okay? I'm gonna turn the hip. There was the foot position. It's just a turn. Now, in certain situations, maybe you sidestep, okay? But on this particular one, boom. Okay? So yes, I'm getting off the line, but I'm not taking a step to get off the line. Okay? And one of the things is right here. See, that brings your mass in. Okay? So it's very important is that motion. All right? So what I'm doing is beat one, but it's like in music, it's like instead of whole note, boom, whole note, it's whole note, half note, half note. Okay? In that motion. And really what it is that when you get that blip, it's more than the sum of its parts. All right, but a lot of Aikido is that blip. If you come to hit me, I'm gonna it's fast. Okay, it's the blip here. Oh, right. And the blip is bigger than the sum of everything, but you sort of have to have some structure. Okay. So right here, yeah, that's solid. Good. We'll lean into it and make it solid, more solid. You go like that. Did you see how the shoulder comes in there? Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm going to run into that shoulder. But right at that point,
Yeah, that's it.
I don't put any weight there until now. Right? Deep, da-da. Deep, da-da. Now you're off the line just with the turning of the hip. If I make too big a movement out of it, then you counter set it. That's not to do it. But I sort of densify you. Okay, so that double movement right there, that's the blip. And that blip just means that we're making a really intense connection that's very, very tangible, but it's not necessarily easily understood. Okay, all right? Okay, so what I want you to do, see this motion, cat, you become Fred Astaire. Okay? So if you go this way, he just stays heavy. Fred Astaire. Well, da-da, da-da. Okay? If you, for example, come this way, we're going to go, now I'm going to go step, step. But it's the same thing. It's like, da-da. Right? I'm not rushing that movement. It's just phrased a little differently. Okay? And what happens is, you got to deal with weight and physical matter, body to body, but you want to be able to realize that physical matter is also energy. And we're also energy. So as you kind of vibe into that energy thing, everything kind of lightens up a bit. Okay? But, okay. Yeah. Okay. And, okay. This is like 80s football, which most of you wouldn't relate to. But Don, remember we used to do Super Bowl training at the old dojo? Yeah, we'd have a class. You used to kind of get some energy for the 49ers in those days. But, one of the descriptions of Joe Montana, some announces that the man with the Fred Astaire feet, okay? Now, if you've ever watched, his ancient stuff, but his movement's very precise, but it's not heavy. And oftentimes, heavy, da-da, dee-dee, dee. Okay? So, if you kind of watch, you hear, like, a double step, the clock, and a step. Okay? Yeah. All right there. I'm going to reposition this foot so the hip can rotate. As the hip rotates, I'm relaxed and the elbow has kind of an energy heaviness. Okay? If I try to put a lot of weight into the elbow, he just grips harder because it's, and that's the blip. But the step is supposed to clunk. So, if I had to describe this thing, which is hard to do, it's greater than the sum of its parts. Here are some of the parts. One, turning the foot, you don't twist the body, but your hip rotates the ball and socket joint. No, but he's getting denser and lower. If I just go right into him, yeah. Okay, now. Got that. Everybody stand up. We're going to turn this into a feather stair dance class. Okay, why don't you stay where you are?
Okay.
Just turn. And the elbow acquires an energy weight. You don't put your weight in the elbow. And you lower your hips a little bit. Okay? Now your back foot, stop, stop. Heavy, light. Yang, yin. Do them both. Okay? And so it's almost like what you're doing is you're understanding a certain conversion factor. We're both, matter and energy are the same thing. Matter is just very dense energy. Now, the other thing is that we're not just matter, we're biological matter. We're very, very complex. Okay? Da-da. 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 It's grounded, but it's very light. Okay? And we're actually creating more density here. Now, there's certain styles, you step your jam the leg here and flip you over. And that's okay. I got bales of hay and I'm throwing them onto a truck. Okay, that's fine. Okay. But I want us to be a little bit more high tech. All right. Sometimes you need muscle, So what happens right here is that the hip is rotating. Okay. It doesn't just, you don't just twist here. Okay. But what you're doing is creating more density here. Okay. And what you got to be able to do, all right, you can create the balloon to be a wrecking ball. But really what you want to do is pop the balloon. You don't want it to turn into something that weighs a ton. That's that. Okay? And I'm verbalizing something you can't verbalize. I'm just trying to give you some structure to get you some sense of what the blip is. The blip, you grab just one hand.
One hand.
Okay, blip. It's in everything. It's the energy and my energy. Unifying. Okay? And so, the term, what is it like? Well, it's a blip. Space and time go blip. Matter and energy go blip. And by no means, in those senses, like he could really do something fantastic with it, but I have a certain level of it. Okay? So let's go again. Let's see if we can work the feather stair piece. Okay, let's go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What I want you to do, think Stephen Curry. Huh? Huh? Now everybody kind of wants to be LeBron James. All right. Right around here. Think Stephen Curry. I mean, that description of Montana. Montana was mobile. And, he could run for yardage, he was younger. He got back problems later. They knew too much. But they called him the man with the thread at their feet because he could move, right? And he moved and he wasn't showing off. I mean, Steve Young was a better runner, right? Later. Well, Montana gets you what you need. Time to make a play. And sometimes you need a first down and okay, you could wiggle for it.
Yeah.
And I don't think you would really see him as being too heavy. You see what I mean? Now we're creating a heavy situation. But what I'm saying a little bit is okay. So you start out with your balloon, you don't weigh that much. When I do this, intentionally, you're a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
You're heavy, you're denser, okay? Why don't we just pop the balloon? That's all. Easy. Easy is not easy because we have to reframe a bunch of stuff. You see what I mean? We have to reframe how I view things. And, basically what we're doing a little bit here is this is all, that's just a blip in another form. Okay, the blip is actually most difficult here. We're in the heavy matter universe, right? I asked Rock Frazier what a sensei was like, and he said, he was like a little kid that had the toy that nobody else had. His much, I mean, yeah. Until something.
Yeah.
Good, 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 no, just wait to be involved. We're going to just stop and that, yeah, I'm together with, right? Right. Yeah. Yeah. And, well, so, yeah, and it's kind of like your work and capital. And yeah, yeah, I just really more about the GG, GG. I would have you know, now, you set up, okay? There's a rock. There's a lot of crystal. Yeah, you don't, yeah, 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 that's just, yeah, yeah, has something that's old news world, uh, with it, uh, That's it. They're too heavy. Or they kind of float in. Right. And we'll do. It's easy, but uh, it's, it's just, you know, and so, that, that's a question. The water, well, much more it's essential. It's just, it's, the water. You know, that's right. Yes, I that's a crucial thing. I feel by the universe, a lot. You know what I mean? And then moves. Yeah, 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 easy, yeah. And depending up here, your whole system further. So, let's okay. In terms of how we're we're doing it, I think for us, is yeah, perfect. And really, the blue softer part is just it's what it is. And that moment, you could do two parts together. And sure, I tend to go, wait, okay, sure, matters just but it's easier for going to structure. I'm going to take physical structure of my put it into a code, give it to a place, and sort of from physics. And that's what you do. You know, that's and treasure things. These workshops that take honest to goodness place for just to that transfer. Your body is certain energy that can with other temperature is constituted. Okay, and the spirit cool. You know, code. Let's say you leave. Yeah, okay, over there without the tumor. That's like, wouldn't that be cool? Wait, someone just, I mean, yes. And one of the things I want to look at and just yeah, pivot. So what happens if it's rotating the shoulder? That's essentially your well, what's being here is just more. I'm but he's just heavier. we're gonna go up the just the church is no, excuse me. That's the steps. That's so I'm just the structure. But my feel of the flip. You're doing it well. You're to grab him, okay? Yes, that one, but don't rush. What, but if I rush way where think I'm telling you, don't think the wrong thing. Not a fact. It's like he's dancing. Oh, it's done. Not the for him. Muscle memory. But what you do is that the idea is in this way. But it's, I see a wall here, and I'm reacting to the wall. Okay? What I try to do is well, that. This wall here, that when I go that, create the wall to be heavy and dense. Keep- keep that up, up for him to spin it, as opposed to sit up and exist it. Yeah, those they are pretty expensive. So you, that's great. Okay, now, yeah, so you can first, this, what is, you want to took the way down, but that's rock. That's what it really is all nothing. It's uncomfortable. It's out there reading a seat, but it's was supposed to be. Now, reading a, it's sort of like you're skimming water without breaking the surface. So it's a little bit of a sink there. So, yeah, that's funny. Yes, it's enough. Oh, I answered. It's, positive, and your mind sync up. Then what happens is it's like a uniform, all right? It's positive, or, you know, yeah, you want, let me figure out, you figure out, I just wrote, instead of breaking or like a yeah, it's just- it's too much like dance. There's nothing. You're dealing with good spot. Like, you know, that's like marriage. Like, it's interesting. You know, it's all stuff. What do you need? So, but I mean, you just take a pot and put it down. Look, yeah, the surface without the wall that will bring matter consciousness and a way. Okay, that's the power of it. I mean, I can try to be. I said, I tell people, LeBron James. Okay, I'm gonna dunk on you. You can't do anything. Yeah, but what would he do if he was 6'3"? Now he might have to develop other stuff. But Curry is 6'3". He can't do that. So his movement is different, isn't it? So think Steph, not LeBron, right? Big, big center. LeBron might be able to just go to the hoop and power through that. And Curry will flip through it somehow. Let's let me get a model. I think that's more interesting. Okay? Goes in with that. Goes in. Right? Yeah, you don't want to do that because when you do that, they don't throw you. Right? You don't want to put your elbow in that position. Well, what am I going to do? What is the position of my elbow? Like a, what is this when the arm is just extended? Okay. Now, the elbow acquires weight as the hip rotates off of that step. But you see how it makes the knee heavier and then so that's when we have that motion. Okay? Okay? Yeah. The elbow floating, you're going to put your weight in it, and then you're going to bounce off of it a bit. Put your hand out. Nothing? Yes, that's how you start. Good. Okay, now I'm turning my hip by putting my weight slightly. I'm not putting a lot of weight on it, okay? Again, I got a rock. I put it on the water, it's going to sink. I'm going to flip it with a little spin, and it's going to skim without raising the surface tension of the water. It's going to pick up speed without getting heavy. It gets heavy, it sinks. And so the feeling is instead of breaking the wall down, he's phasing through it. Okay, hold. Okay, now, right there. Energy weight. Put your hand on my weight. Oh. Bend your knees, you feel it. Bend your knees, bend your knees. And you feel it. Otherwise, you're staring at it, trying to figure it out. Good. Energy weight, good. Energy weight, yeah. Now you created the wall to be heavier. Now, don't put the elbow in. Energy weight, good. You know, if you go that way, you're going to, you tense up. Good, 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 good. Now, deep, deep. Deep, deep. Deep, deep. No, you're trying to break the wall down. Again, water has surface tension. I put a rock on it, it's going to sink. I take that rock and flip it with a little spin, stick it in without breaking the surface tension. Eventually it will sink. Elbow, energy weight. Good. Now, easy there, and more weight. Okay. Now what I want you to do is put that foot back. Get that nice weight. Now step, and step, step. Good. That's the phrasing of it. All right? Huh? But there's something funny with the elbow here. Natural here. See right about there. It's a hip rotate. The elbow has an energy weight to it. Boom, 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 boom. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Things are not the way they seem. Okay. Huh? Oh, Barbara, I kind of want you to explore right here. There's an energy weight in the elbow. Okay, if you go a little bit this way, you're vertical, I'm horizontal, and I'm just gonna bounce off your vertical. Okay? Weight. Energy weight, not physical weight. Okay, now what I want you to do right there is just relax and put your weight on the side, and you have it. Now, when I grab here, you get distracted and you start to put your weight in the elbow. What I really want is energy weight, energy weight to relax. Yeah. You want to kind of go that way. You're reacting. Don't react. Keep your composure. You want to lean. Easy. Easy, energy weight, yeah. Now when I grab, your attention goes out here, so you don't have to do that. Now the trick is when I'm holding, let's move this, yes. Okay, and then once you get that, step, step. Step, step. Okay, now what's happening right there is you're reacting to me up here and out there. Step, step. All right? Step, step. Easy. Step, step. What you're going to do, you're going to start track. You're not going to knock the wall down, you're going to phase through it. The image of the rock skimming the water is just an easier one. All right, but you know, all of a sudden, you know, that's okay. Okay. I'm on this ship. I'm going to phase through that ship. If I jump into outer space, I'm stuck in space.
Hi.
But there's that sound. Okay. All right. So there's the technology piece. But it starts here. Okay. Then what you think? When I'm twisting the foot, I'm not twisting the ankle, just the hip rotates. And it rotates with that weight in the elbow. Good. Now, deep. Backwards, crosses, and sit. Yes. Now, less weight. First, with the weight in the elbow with its energy weight, half step. Okay, okay. And then we're just about there in the 10.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
You're going to phase right through that. Okay, that one. There's a little bit of collision there. You don't have to have that. But then cover, see how she does. That's better. That's a beginning jump. Now, the real test is get Ken to grab you and see what you do. But it's the same algorithm. You see what I mean? It's the same algorithm. That's part of the training. Boy, I love that training, but big, heavy people, that's where you say it's just the algorithm. You know, which means right here, you're loose, easy. All right. Instead of dropping my weight, but I kind of going this way, so the hip is rotating. And yeah, there's a nice weight, relaxed energy weight in the elbow. And I just made her heavier. Deep, deep. And I've got to move her like I'm phasing through her, not trying to get through her. And you know, it's kind of a cool feeling. You know, if she's coming in this direction, the other way. Same thing. Face her. If you get the blip, a lot of Aikido is pretty easy. The blip. As you lose, the blip connects her and me. It's really, you know, but you got to give somebody structure. And then what's funny is they think about the structure and they kind of mess it up. But it's one of those things where it's necessary. But after a while, the structure is really transparent. It doesn't mess you up. And that's kind of what we're after a bit, okay? And then you just pure Aiki for that moment. You see what I mean? It doesn't matter whether you're 86 years old, like Osensei was. Pretty potent. All right? You know, I asked Robin Fraser Sensei once, what was Osensei like? And he said, well, he's truthful. He was like a kid. And he had the only model of a certain really cool kid. And he knew it. You know, and what he was trying to do was say, you can have this too, but you got to put some training in to get it. But that was what he said. It was like a kid, only kid on the block that had this boy. It's magical, whatever, this flip, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Huh?
Hey, Francis?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think your microphone is turned off.
Oh, David usually does that. Well, why don't you hit the plus area? It's got.
There's nothing.
We'll check it. Just in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't really get this thing amplified. I'm not sure exactly what.
Yeah, it's not.
Whoops, no. Yeah, hijack it. Just turned on. Let me look.
Yeah. Oh, it is turned on? But it doesn't have.
Yeah, it's on. It should be working.
Might be on it.
Whoops. Well, we'll just try to be better with it, okay? Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay. But that's one of the things we can do a little bit, you know. This has the same blip effect like this. Okay. So, see, I'm open 2 places. I'm open when I look at them, and I'm open when I step and try to throw it. Now, this is good, but then I put too much weight in this step now. the same blip. And really, you know, what we're doing right here is with two. See this? And with this one, I'm forming an inverted triangle. Okay, point base, but here the lead foot becomes the base of it, the rear foot's the point. And what happens when I do that? You know, the hip rotates this way. The back hip just pretty much twists. But this foot hip goes like this. Now, once I get that connection from in here, I think this, then DT. If I'm too heavy, okay? If I'm too heavy, I'm kind of like a rock that just stands there on some heavy surface, and that's all it is, okay? Or if I'm on water, I sink, okay? So part of this is to get my consciousness to lighten that so that I think unity, not opposition. Right? Really what it is, we're both creating that motion. Uke, nage, nage, uke. Okay? Now right here, we're going to rotate. Take. Now here, twist the wrist, turn the hip. Two external. Turn the hip. The hip, the back hip just kind of rotates. But the forward hip on that inverted triangle, once you get that connection, you've neutralized a lot of things. Okay, now this foot's going to step, and then the other foot's going to step, and we're going to go like that. Okay, it's very much like the movement we did. Deep, deep. Okay, deep, deep. Okay, now getting that torque is important because, you know, I can know it, but I'm swinging the arms. You can come right through. First of all, by turning them, there's a connection here. Okay, if I'm going to beam Yu Chen to the other starship, I better get the coordinates right, or she's going to beam into outer space. Okay, this is different than twisting here. The hip is a spherical jump. Now, this, that, you get that motion. All right, and you know, the fall is a challenge, but it's done properly. There's so much energy there. It's actually kind of cool to take that fall. Okay, now, you know, let's say you're looking at somebody newer, they take a back fall here. That's fine. And, you know, so we do a more basic version of it. You know, and some days if your back is out or something, just tell your partner, you know, look, I don't think I can do that today. So just take me down and stretch me out, okay? Huh? So let's switch to the ski Kote Gaeshi. It's very similar to what we just did. There's that deep, deep step. Okay? Let's just change partners. Yeah. Yeah. No. But Ken, we were working with you. Ken, we were working with you on this one too. Put your ground, but don't drop your weight. Easy. Bend your knees a little bit nice and loose. Fill your body with tea. Fill your body with tea. Yeah. But when I do this, what I'm really trying to do is help you out, sir. Now, keep your body filled with tea. It's a lighter fall, isn't it? He's very light when he takes his fall, okay? And when you get it, last week when you're doing that, you see how light that is? Yeah. And also don't overdo it. If your back starts to say, I understand it, but maybe I shouldn't do 30, then you just, you don't push it. Okay? Well, one of the things here, if he's coming in this stuff is going to. That's the blip, isn't it? Flip up some. Now, the other thing I'm going to do a little bit without. Something that fill your body with tea. Fill your body with tea. Fill your body with tea. And it's lighter. You see the difference right there? And then you get that experience as you, but then these movements over here also, mainly you pick it up as UK first. That's why UK is so important. Okay? But, one of the things, if you grab this, just grab the tree, just rejuvenation. Your body feels it, it lightens up. That's really what the blip kind of does. All right? Now, for example, you do this, you do a slightly different thing to get to this position. Step, step, boom, boom, boom. Okay? Now, right in the middle of that fall, you're getting heavy again. Stay lighter. Right in the middle of that, you don't want to switch to a wrecking ball. You stay a balloon. All right? Your actual physical weight is energy weight. And if you're coming in this direction, good. I'll teach you a little bit easier. Now, if I'm reacting to you, okay, it would be a lot heavier. I think this is another bit. So you kind of want to create a better world that's fluid, where things flow, they communicate. You see what I mean? And if I'm just, everything is heavy and everything, I'm getting better at dealing with a heavy world. Yeah, you need to have that somewhat, but it's better to work on that shift where you keep things lighter and more fluid. There's more communication, more connection. Okay. But in case when you're right in the middle, you're getting heavier. Let's take a forward roll. Let's take a forward roll. Yeah. Now, what they kind of do, it's a quick forward roll. That's better. You see, it's lighter, isn't it? Don't think, I got to take a high fall. You can't take a forward roll. All right? Okay? Okay. Now, one thing right there, okay. You want to do that. Turn your hip. Okay, good. You don't twist the wrist. Now, grab the wrist, I got to twist the wrist. You don't twist your wrist at all. You got to twist your hip. Oh. Okay. Now, when you rotate your hip, and now the other hand, keep turning the hip. And then DT. Okay, good. Yes. It's light. It's powerful, but it's light. It's very fluid power because communication and connection is good. Okay? Okay? All right. Don't bring it in that way. Okay? For example, because when you do that, you come within range. All right. Now, one of the purposes of step, there's still space. If you come to structure, there's a torque, isn't it? Right? You want that torque there because if you don't have it, it's just a dance. I mean, talk about Fred Astaire, he took everything very seriously. Ninja Rogers said he was an absolute pain in the butt. Because he wanted perfection, right? But when she got it, she said, now you're dancing, it's all worth it. The Fred Astaire said, now you're dancing, you know what I mean? But apparently he was not easy to, because he wanted perfection. And perfection is hard. In fact, perfection is something we'll work for. Okay, so for example, let's say you take this position here. Now, first of all, okay, now this is a little more specific. I'm forming an inverted triangle. Okay, now point that toe more, yes, okay. Now, all you're gonna do is you're gonna turn your hip. Okay, good. You don't have to twist the wrist at all. So, unless like you're pulling from the shoulder and move your hip. Yes. Okay, now, the other hand goes here. All right. And you're gonna go deep, deep, starting with that foot. Deep, deep. Okay, good. And you eliminate that hole. The torque is there. Martially, it's a good movement. If somebody doesn't move, the wrist goes snapping three different directions. We don't want that. So you can try to be okay. Right? So martially, okay. And not so deadly with one blessing wrist, you know? So right about there, you got the inverted, and now don't put your weight here. Get that turn, yeah, now turn your hip. Okay, good. The wrist rotates. If you try to twist the wrist, you put weight out and I react to it. So now DT. Okay, now the other thing I would add. First part's nice. Okay, go to the first part. Turn your hip. Now put your other hand here. Now go DT. Okay, good. You just close that hole. See, one of the things here, yeah, I do this and I'm thinking, twist his wrist. I'm going to do, okay. So, you know, adding on twisting it. Turn the hip, put the hand here. Diggy. It's over with like that. But it's smooth, it's connected. Okay? But you gotta know what you're doing. You do that. All right? Turn the hip. Put the other hand here. And go DT. Okay, good. That's just pretty much it. I don't take too many falls these days because I got all this stupid equipment on. You know? Okay, that's pretty much it. Okay, try it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. Okay. Um, that's right. The Riminaga has somewhat of the same stuff. Okay. But instead of looking at, you're here. Now, one of the things, instead of trying to move his weight, see, I'm forming that same inverted triangle. And what that inverted triangle does, the rear hip kind of twists, but the other hip rotates spherically. Okay? If we want to, then it's very easy to do this. Okay, that much. Right? It's almost the same thing as the Kote Gaeshi. It's just that you're going to the same position, but the Rininage position. And you're going dot, dot. There are other ways of phrasing it. Okay? And the movement is actually loose and it doesn't weigh a lot. I'm not being heavy. Okay? It's fluid. As I said, don't think LeBron James, think Stephen Curry. Okay? It's different. LeBron dominates. Steph dances. Like obviously, I'm a fan of him more than all the other guys. And it's not that LeBron can't dance too, because he can. But what are the things here? Okay. But the step is conforming that inverted. The rear hip rotates, but this hip, your hip twists, but this hip kind of. And after that, then there's the step. Yeah. Very similar. Okay, all right. So let's keep the tack the same. Okay, all right. Yeah. No. You kind of. I'd actually do a little bit more, okay, coming this direction, I think. Instead of swinging the load out so much, okay. Keep turning the hip. Right? Okay? When I swing the leg out, I pull you in. I'm just going to keep turning the hip here. Huh? Huh? Now, as you get back up, and then that changes that motion. Okay? What you're really doing instead of turning the hip, we're just getting him off the space so that can be removed. Now, right about here, it's just a different step. It's the same template, really. Step, 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 step. Because you really navigate can degenerate into getting here and trying to wrestle them down very easily. So what we kind of want to be able to do is the same thing. Easy. Well, in that motion, boom. The same movement. Which is convenient. Because if you get one, you're practicing that in another situation. It's related. You see what I mean? Okay? All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the things that I kind of want to mention, because it's okay. Well, let's say we go into Kote Gaeshi and we just go this way and we swing the leg and step. But I don't want to swing the leg. Yeah. Boom, boom. Okay? So likewise, Yurumi Nage wasn't to go here and then we swing the leg. But when I'm swinging the leg, she turns towards me and she's got a clean shot. They're still forming that inverted triangle, which is kind of getting most of a full hip rotation. Let's say she grabs my wrist, just one here. Yeah. Now, this is that same motion. I'm not twisting the body. There's a hip rotation here in that motion. Now we could fully pivot, more tenkan, or we can do a version of that with one hand. Okay? All right. One of the Kojiki myths is about the sea king, and he has two jewels, a red and a white, and he controls the tides with them. And then, you know, I don't know if it's classical Kojiki or what Sensei did. He said there's a third jewel, white, red, crystal clear. He said that's the Aiki. Okay? Now the crystal clear one obviously means the red and the white jewel are in harmony. And the clarity of the jewel, it's more of a center position, right? This is my own interpretation of it. So, you know, somebody could say Jack is totally off, but I think it's pretty good. The clarity is the intelligence that is in your body movement that allows you to connect for the Aiki to happen. And to some degree, there's that blip effect when it does. Okay. Now, if I go here, let's say, and I swing the leg, that's common, but then she's quick. She turns her hip and she's in. Okay. So it's very important. As she tries to turn her hip, she's still in. Wrong. In that motion. Okay. So the footwork's a little different. What this does do is it gives me much more a full rotation right here in the first part of the blend, and then deep, deep, just like before. Deep, 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 deep. All right. And it's not a heavy style, but there's a lot of flow to it. And because it's fluid, there's power that doesn't rely so much on weight and control, but more on intelligence and diligence. Okay. And it's not, you don't want any holes there. It's very dance-like, but you don't want to be having a good time dancing and it's just right now somebody that give somebody a clear shot at you. Okay, there's a martial function to it. But on the other hand, if you get too locked in that and you get too tight in controlling, you also lose it. But there's a specific amount of knowledge that you then translate into your own body feel. Okay? Teacher can't do it for you. It's up to you. That's the crystal clear jewel, not the red or the white. You need the red and the white, the yin and the yang. But then you have that crystal, which is intelligence, clarity, connection. Okay? All right? Let's go one more time on the front partner. Yeah. So, now what I'm going to do right here, when I get this, I'm going to switch my grip to the shoulder, allow you to rotate more into that much. That's okay. Now here you're in more of a Kote Gaeshi position. That way. Okay, so it's kind of a, this is it. So I'm going to switch the grip, and it's still the same thing. It gives you a little bit of a different thing. Flat. You go the other way. It's like a boom. You want to not to yank your hair, right? Right here, I'm going to switch the grip a little bit so you're turning towards me. Easy. It's a little different with Timmy. So, you might switch it to when it goes flat. It's not as interesting. Okay? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, okay. What we're gonna do here is just coming in here, same motion. Now here, what we're doing, this is your standard Nage, which is, you're keep rotating. But what we're gonna do right here is you wanna switch the grip. We're gonna go from here to the shoulder. And then when I'm doing the flip up, what we're gonna do is down. It gives you because you keep falling the same way, your body wears out. So we're gonna change the fall a little bit so your body gets another range of motion. Okay? Right? Now right here, I'm a little short in terms of that. If you want to come in, so this is where you turn the hips and then. Other than that, you go like this and she reads it. The hip rotates a bit more. From that inverted triangle. Right about here, so this is going to be more of that, okay? But we're going to switch. You're going to get more here. Watch if the hair is long, you don't grab somebody's hair, okay? And what it is she's turning into me. Oh, it's really the same thing. Still a step, okay? And right about here, I can stop the turn. I'll just keep turning the hip a little bit more. But right here, she's tired of taking that back fall, so we're going to change it a bit. If she's turning in, we're going to come in that way, okay? Now, this is more unpredictable, so, you can control for a bigger class just with the back fall. But this is, I don't want people to fall into each other. So let's switch to groups of 3, okay? All right, let's go. No, I could have. No. Yeah. Yeah, one of the things too, let's say you're coming in this direction. Okay.
Okay.
You can just swing the leg, right? It's just the inverted triangle, the hip kind of goes in. Now, right here, it's going to be pretty much a straight fastball.
Yeah.
So right here, what we're doing is opening, so steps,
Hi.
and for forward. But it's important. So now, for example, he's big. Now, I'm not thinking, how do I take him down? I'm thinking, well, how do I make a big connection? Okay. Yeah. Then we get the fly here. Uh, and what we're doing here, for example, just on that, consider this room, all right? And he's, we're on the battlefield and he's a warrior wearing armor. I don't have my sword. We both lost his sword, but we're still gonna fight. And so, I need to hear boom. It's also a striking motion. You see what I mean? And I can't do that here from
Yeah.
a slide and boom. Then there's something. Okay. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff is designed in its original instruction to work to summarize, right? Because, what happens, you go like this, nothing much going to happen. You get a boom, you generate impact, but it's connective impact. I don't think essentially, obviously did a lot of that. As you got older, I don't think we wanted us to get too carried away with that. But in other words, right here, that'd be easy with it. But hitting you, boom, it goes right through you. See that motion right there? So even though somebody's wearing armor, you kind of go here, I'm going to go here, boom, there's an area where the impact is energy, all right? What you're really doing is firing a phaser. You use the Star Trek, phaser, I'm stunned. Okay, all right? But, when they go over here and slide it, and if he's turning in this direction, that's also an impact. And it puts him in a different angle for a different role. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can on this one, it's just coming in. First of all, the first part's exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is slide, boom, and then there's that motion. But it's really a lot alike. If you come with one hand, well, it's like what we call a Sumio-Toshi motion. Sumio-Toshi, corner drop. If you're coming in this direction, I'll turn a little bit in, and you have that one. You come in this direction, if it's in more than that one. But, right about here, okay, good. I'm going to slide here, and we get that motion. And you see the similarities between the Kote Gaeshi and the ring and all. It's really the same footwork. Okay? Huh? Okay. Yeah. One thing right there, okay? You're swinging this leg a little too quick, okay? So one of the things is right here. And then, you know, instead of swinging the leg, we switch it and we got that much. Okay? So, for example, with, you know, when I swing that leg, well, you're going to track me here. There are other things I can do, like I can, you know, cut it short, but that, you know, that's always there, you know, you make a mistake, you enter. Okay, okay, but kind of what we're, I haven't stepped yet. I try not to swing the leg, okay? Turn the hip a little bit more. Then slide, bring it up that much. Okay? So, you know, it's a tricky one because if he's coming this direction, boom, you're off the line this way. But if I try to make, if I enter turn, it creates, see what I mean? It creates separation. Now, we all do it. We spend decades doing it, so you got to look at it. You're right about here, you're creating space for you and your partner, but you're right there. And then you add that motion, then you add that, and then you have that motion. And then, you know, once you get to here, you know, it's just going to be Kote Gaeshi. It's just a blip step. But when you're here, here, that's the reality, the same thing. Add that inverted triangle, turn your here. Now, what you're going to do is slide your grip down here. And then blip. Okay, good. Then you give me a different direction, your balance will be better. Okay, all right? Okay. Yeah. One thing right there too is, for example, now that full takedown is kind of hard, but when I swing the leg, you stay up there. Now, I don't want to pull, but if the hip continues to rotate, now right there, then we add that just to give you a different angle,
Right.
and then we get that motion. See what I mean? If I'm coming at you, it's a tricky one. Form the inverted triangle and rotate the hip. Rotate the hip, good. Then you get that full picture.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
If you swing the leg a little too quick, it tends to break down. You see what I mean? That takes a long time to do because what you're really doing is for example, okay, you're coming with a ski, okay, and I'm going to try to enter off of that. See what I'm really doing right there is with the cross step, what you're doing, you're forming an inverted triangle. If you come real quick, that's boom. And then of course, boom, you can take that extra step. Okay. Now a lot of this stuff, you know, the movement of the hips, let's say I'm gonna go this way. Well, guess what? Your back hip usually just rotates. But here, the forward hip follows movement like this. Huh? Back hip, but the forward hip follows the other 15 pattern. Then, same thing going the other way. The back hip just swings, but forward hip rotates. Now the nice thing is you can go this way and that way. That's Kote Gaeshi, or even other. You know, in a nutshell, this way, that way. If you come in this direction, I'm gonna go this way, that way. And then we get that blip effect. It's, you know, it's this way, this way. Okay? So after a while, if we kind of follow the rotation here, one of the things is that if, for example, the forward hip is hard because it's the one that does a lot of it. The back hip, if the back hip, it's a double movement like that, you lose your balance. The back hip, it's kind of more like it just goes this way, but the forward hip, see, it's following the rotation here. And then if you go this way, all of a sudden you can go this way and that way. That's Kote Gaeshi, or even Minage. But right here, you go this way, boom. And if you see me pause or step, there's a hole there. You feel the difference right there? Yeah. Okay. 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 Yeah. Well, one of the things I kind of wanted to mention, if we mention, I do a lot of work with the staff. Okay? Like, one thing we do is we have a Friday class, and we're working kind of, initially, we have the 30 movements. But, what happens here, for example, rotates. Okay, we have this motion. Rotate. And so, for example, some of these, I call them the fire water changes. They come off of basically, which you call this is the one-handed figure eight, but the two-handed figure eight. Well, what did I say? Steering me mounted. But for example, here, the back hip when you're moving tends to kind of rotate here. It's just support. Okay. But the forward hip, instead of going twist, twist, rotates here. And as you get a little better, what happens is first having you go this way and that way, and this way. It's a double movement. This way and this way. For example, she comes in, it goes this way. It's an Indian argument. And what you find is if you step, you create that. There's something with raise hands and people would fall. Huge working energy. And if you kind of look at that and go like this, nothing that's going to happen. If you're going to probably get hit. But I kind of want to see a little bit, you go, boom, boom. Or conversely, if she comes in and says, boom, boom. And so, I work a lot with these changes. Or even turn a little bit more. But see, the rear hip turns that way. But the shoulder hip, you see, is rotating. Then when it steps, it becomes a rear foot. And the other foot becomes, and then you can work changes. And after a while, what happens is, you're learning patterns. But after a while, it just sort of happens through you. You're clear enough so that these patterns or flows just naturally come through. And the feeling, like the deep stuff is your light and fluid. The light, fluid, light, fluid. And there's power, like she grabs with two hands. Okay, stop. Yeah. It's fluid without getting heavy and controlling. Okay, so, there's room for things like intelligence, compassion, connection, communication. Power without all that stuff generally turns back on itself. We're seeing a lot of that in politics right now where, I don't want to do the right thing, I just want to win. And that tends to come back on you eventually. Okay, let's all hang up and we'll do the bow out from here. Okay, thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind, just put this away for me.